Hey there, welcome back to holy shit, this prop looks so much better than it did when I first did a review of him. Today we're going to be doing a review of my 2021 remake, Wacky Mole. Now, as I said, this came out in 2021. It was a remake of the original Wacky Mole, which was released in 2013. The 2013 version of this prop is shitty. It is horrible. But I really want it. I want that thing so badly because of how bad it is. And also, I just love Wacky Mole as a character. I always really liked him as a character, it's just that the old prop didn't do him justice at all. But, in my opinion, the new Wacky Mole is more Wacky Mole than the original Wacky Mole. And I live by those words. This prop does the character very much a lot more justice. He retails now for $220. Originally in 2013 he was $200 even. And he was in, I believe, the factory floor thing. I don't know. I just remember him being on the right side of everything. I mean, there was only 2 times where a Wacky was actually on display in my stores. He was the first prop that really made it to stores in 2021. Him, sometimes Mr. Howell, and then all the rest were leftovers, or not leftovers, but returning props, like Nightcrawler and Hauntress and shit like that. But Wacky was the first new prop to make it to stores. I didn't actually ever plan on getting this guy when I got him. I got him in late August, right when Spirit opened, I think. I wasn't planning on getting him at first. I planned on getting Grimm later in the season, but oh my god, I walked into the store and I just loved him. I just fell so head over heels for Wacky, because I always loved him. I loved him so much, but holy shit, seeing him in real life, I fucking ass over tits, I forced my dad to let me buy him. My friends can attest to this because they were there at Spirit the day that I got Wacky. I fucking freaked out, and then I ran out, or I ran to get the box, bought it, and then ran out of the store, put him in the car. It was great. Now, this guy, his quality is pretty damn good, although there are, his clothes aren't great. They look pretty good, especially mine, because I put it in the dryer. Although mine doesn't really keep the form very well, I will have to maybe try to fill out his body a bit more, but I don't particularly mind it, all that much at least. I've gotten the clothes pretty good looking, but his clothes, the material they're made out of is not fantastic, but again, I don't really care. A lot of prop clothes aren't great. But that's really his only major flaw. His movement is a lot better than the old one, because, he's faster, he wiggles around honestly a bit more than the old one did, because while the old one had springs in his arms like Limb Ripper does, the old one still moved way the fuck slower. This guy moves a lot faster, so his arms jaggle around even without having the springs in them. I'm very happy they removed the springs, honestly, because they did not work for Wacky. They just made the hammer arm sag down way more than it needed to. Anyway, yeah, I'm really glad that they did not give him the springs back in his arms, because it just made the hammer arm sag down a lot over time, to the point where some of them were directly just pointed downwards. It was bad. And then the other arm was just positioned really unnaturally. The new one's default arm positioning isn't great either. He kind of looks like a robot in that position, but I positioned it, I posed the arm so that it's kind of in between those two, where it's not fully horizontal, not fully vertical, and I think it looks really good. It looks a lot more natural. And I also posed his hammer arm up a lot, and if you could not tell at this point, I have custom blood on the hammer done by my boy Jovanir Haunts. He's really good with blood. Other than that, I also painted his eyelids a bit better, and my friend and I painted his eyebrows with UV paint so that they glow better now, and also they're a bit darker than they originally were, and I like it. So, yeah, we were gonna paint his shoes like we do all the other clowns, but honestly for Wacky, I think having them just pure green works with his cartoony-ass look. And I love his look, dude. It's so surreal, in a way. I went on a whole rant in the original video about it, so I don't feel like going into that rant here. You can just watch that piece of shit video where he looked like ass. For some reason, new Wacky, his head comes posed all the way down. I don't know why they did it, but it comes posed so far down, it makes him like 3 inches shorter, and he's directly looking at the ground. So you can pose his head up, because, you know, seasonal visions, everything is posable, and I love it. And that's kind of what I recommend you do. That's what I did to mine, and he has looked so much better, of course. But yeah, I love Wacky so goddamn much, holy shit. A lot of people really like him, and then there's really 2 opinions in the community. You either like him a lot, or you fucking hate him. There's not really much of an in-between from what I've seen. That could just be me, though. Well, I don't know. People really like him because he's just a fantastic character. Also, his speaker is so much better than it was originally, and I have him on full volume to exemplify that. He's very, very loud. Anyway, I'll get to activating him now.
I just love hitting you bozos with my hammer. You better watch out, or I'm gonna whop you over the head, too. Oh, please, come a little closer. Yeah.
You can see he still jaggles around a lot, especially since I only have 1 screw on the hammer, so it wiggles around a fair bit more. Like, it's still going, even without, again, having springs in the arms. I don't think it was really a necessary thing to have those, especially with this guy.
Bad Halloween costumes make me crazy! They make me wanna pummel things with my hammer, yes. I think I'm going crazy again!
He stands a little less than 6 feet tall. He's on the shorter side of the 6-footers, but if you pose his head up, he's a little bit taller. People complain about how short he is. I don't care. I don't care. Holy shit, I've had to stop the recording completely twice now because I've gotten interrupted by my family. Anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? Shit. Yeah, he's on the shorter side of 6 feet, and people complain about it. I don't really care. I don't mind if a prop is a little bit shorter. I think I'm like as tall as Wacky. I'm pretty short, honestly. I think I'm like about as tall as Wacky. Like Henry Hustle, even when his normal head is just there, he still is like 3 inches taller than me. Flesh-Eating Zombie, he is so much taller than me for some reason. So is Wally and Limb Ripper. I don't fucking know. I'm short. But I don't really mind him being not, like, towering. I think it fits him, honestly, especially considering how shitty his posture is, which is an intentional choice, of course.
Step right up, boys and girls. Who's next to get walloped by my hammer? I'll be the first on your block to say, Wacky Mole, club me over the head.
The new one also has a relay switch compared to the old one, which is amazing because I hate when props reset to the side. Like, there's some of them that it looks natural on, but there's a lot that it also just looks really fucking awkward on. Like, Limb Ripper, I dislike when he resets, like, all the way to turn to one side. But then there's ones that it looks a lot more natural on, like, Grimsley, for example. He doesn't have a relay switch, but I think it works better for him because he has a full jumpsuit, so there's not nearly as much of a difference between, you know, his shirt and his pants. Yeah. I think he has 1 or 2 more phrases. This guy's got a lot of phrases.
I just love hitting you bozos with my hammer. You better watch out, or I'm gonna whop you over the head, too. Oh, please, come a little closer. Yeah.
Activate him one more time. I have no idea whether or not he went through all of his phrases.
Bad Halloween costumes make me crazy. They make me wanna pummel things with my hammer again. I think I'm going crazy again.
I also love his background music so much. It fits with the voice very well. And honestly, he has one of my favorite prop voices ever done. Doug Boyd, bless his heart, rest in peace. I loved his voice acting on Wacky. It was unfortunate because I don't think he ever voiced any other props. I think he came into SVI just to voice Wacky and then dipped. Fortunately, again, passed away in early 2021. Rest in peace, Doug Boyd. Gone, but shall never be forgotten. Anyway, that got a little somber. Go up a little bit closer, and I'll show his close-up detailing. He's pretty well detailed, although his paint job is notoriously bad on both the newer and older ones. It's some of the worst Seasonal Visions paint jobs, which is again why I kind of touched up the eyelids a little bit, so it's you know, darker. The lips on mine are painted pretty well. Some of them are painted atrociously. Teeth, everything is latex also on the newer one. It's all latex, which I really kind of like because it gives it a much more grotesque look. Just like off the bat. Yeah, also fun fact, he doesn't have ears. That's a detail that I really enjoy for some reason. His eyebrows are fucking crazy. Again, we had repainted them. Yeah, his hair back there. You can style it a little bit. I like to keep it kind of slicked back and then a little bit to the sides. And then, yeah, again, the hammer we had redone with some new blood. And also, I know it leans to the one side, but I cannot fix that. I tried to. I tried to pose the hand so it was tilted a little bit less to that way. But I snapped the welding for his hand bracket. Let me try to get this off. He doesn't have any Velcro for his like sleeves. It's just all held on by elastic. Which is fine, it works. Though I kind of prefer Velcro. Yeah, see? I had snapped the welding, so it's kind of just being held on by like a metal epoxy and zip ties. So it holds on pretty well, but yeah, it was funny. But anyway, yeah, so that's about all there is to this guy. He's simple, but I love him so much. He's a classic example of just looking amazing and not having to do much. Same with, you know, Wally, Limb Ripper, things like that. Sometimes a prop doesn't have to have that much movement to be amazing. You know? Anyway, you guys get wacky out there, alright? Don't get too wacky without me. I know where you live.